Hello everyone in 3C. Thank you very much for reading my book. Thank you for sending me 10 questions about the boy who biked the world. Here we go. Question 1. How long did it take to write the book? It took me 4 years to cycle around the world. When I got home I started writing the book for quite a few months. But I couldn't find a publisher to do it. So I spent 3 or 4 years doing talks to schools, talking to children, trying to find a publisher before eventually I found someone who would do it. Generally I find it takes me about a year to do a book, and my ambition to myself is to always try and do one book every year. I failed last year, but that's roughly my plan. One book, 1 year. Question 2. What inspired you to travel around the world? Well, why wouldn't you want to travel around the world? The world is big, huge, enormous and exciting, and I think that is enough reason to go. I grew up reading stories of great adventurers. I loved travel and adventure. I wanted to see these different places, and I wanted to try a challenge as well, try to do something big and difficult for myself to see whether I could do it. Question 3. How do you make it around the whole world without getting hungry? I got incredibly hungry cycling around the world, and that's actually one of the great things about doing big adventures like that, is you get really hungry but you're burning so much energy that you can eat loads and loads of food and be really greedy without getting fat. So I definitely got very hungry cycling around the world. And because I didn't have much money, I ate a lot of banana sandwiches, as you will know from reading about Tom in the book, and I used to spend a lot of time dreaming of more delicious foods than that. Question 4. Which country did you like the most and why? It's really hard to choose favourite countries because honestly I liked pretty much every single place that I've ever been to. I'm just interested to go to new places. But that's a bit of a lame answer. So I think, seeing as you've read the book 1, I think I'll choose Sudan, because the people there were so incredibly kind. People were kind everywhere in my trip. Throughout all the Muslim countries of the Middle East I met huge kindness and generosity, but I think Sudan trumped everywhere for just being a wonderful experience to cycle through. Plus it was a desert, which was brilliant and tough and exciting and adventurous as well. So Sudan. Did you meet anyone famous on your journey? In Sudan I met someone incredibly famous. He was one of the soap opera superstars of Sudan. He was on the Sudan version of EastEnders. He was a megastar. I had no idea who he was, but everyone seemed to be very excited that he was around. Yeah, I'm not that bothered about famous people, to be honest. I think everyone's interesting. You don't have to be on the telly to be interesting. Approximately how many banana sandwiches did you eat, and did you like them? I did like banana sandwiches. I did get a bit sick of them. I ate quite a lot. I ate a couple for breakfast, and then about every hour I'd stop for another snack, either banana sandwich or just a banana or whatever fruit I had. A couple at lunchtime, a couple in the afternoon. So yeah, I ate a lot of sandwiches around the world. What made you write a book? I wrote a book because I loved reading books before the trip and during the trip, and I've always loved books, so writing was a challenge that I wanted to try for myself. I trained to be a teacher originally, but being a teacher was far too much like hard work, which is why I decided to cycle around the world for 4 years instead. And I gave a lot of talks at school, so I was used to talking to young people, and I knew how enthusiastic children always were about adventures and travel. So I wanted to give them or give you an adventurous story that would encourage you to go out and do crazy things yourself. There's so many boring grown-up things in the world that people say, oh, don't do this, it's dangerous and difficult and blah blah blah. So I just wanted to say, go for it, do crazy, big, exciting stuff. You're bolder and braver and more capable than you imagine, so get out there and do stuff. What type of food and drink did you try? Well, I got invited to loads of families' homes, so I got to eat all sorts of interesting things, from injera in Ethiopia. It's this big pancake that you eat with your hands. The plate is the meal, really. You rip up the pancake, scoop up the bits of food in the middle and eat that. I ate guinea pig in South America. I loved the food in Georgia in the Middle East. They have a thing called khachapuri, which is a bit like cheese on toast in a pie that you have for breakfast. What more could you want in life than that? How many punctures did you get? Did you fall off a lot? I didn't really fall off that often, except when I cycled through Siberia and I was on snow and ice and therefore crashed lots of times every day, and it was horrible. I lost count how many punctures I got. Sometimes you'd go for weeks or thousands of miles without them, and sometimes you just get hit, puncture, puncture, puncture. My worst day for punctures in Bolivia in the Andes, I was on this rubbish rocky road with rubbish cheap tyres and tubes, and I got 15 punctures in one day. That was a terrible, terrible day. The sort of day when I thought being a teacher sounded like a nice option. Did you make any friends, and what did you learn? I made so many friends around the world. That was one of the great parts of it, and I think perhaps the best thing I learned cycling around the world was that the world is a good, kind place full of nice, normal, decent people like we all are, and realising that people in different parts of the world are no different from us was a really, really important thing for me to do on this trip. And that even if I was in countries that sounded dangerous or different or strange compared to to where I was from, people are still the same. Everyone laughs at the same funny things. If someone falls over on their bottom, everyone laughs. Whatever language you speak, wherever you are in the world, if you're thirsty, someone will give you water. And I think that kindness and the friends I made was probably the single best part of the whole experience. I hope they were helpful answers. Thank you for good questions. I'm really, really glad you're reading the book, and I hope it encourages you to get out on some adventures of your own. Good luck. Thank you. Off.